Powers. We are live on the Powers for Breakfast show with myself, 100 Eyes, and the Triller Talent Mafia.
Yeah.
And we are joined today with two special guests. And they are Banna and Paul Ming from Wushan. Are you mad?
Are you mad?
Fellas, we are honoured to have you in this studio today. Let me start off by bowing.
Welcome.
It's all good, man.
Okay.
It's all good, you know what I mean?
How you lot doing?
Great life, man. Feeling good, bro.
Balanced?
Hey, you're going to hear a lot of that today, though.
Listen, I had good sleep this morning. Tried to know I made sure I got some sleep.
Very, very important out here, man. I didn't. I got bad sleep, really bad sleep. Went to bed about 2.
What, 2 hours?
No, I went to bed about 2. Woke up about 5.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I didn't even sleep. I felt like I closed my eyes and opened it again. Like, yeah. But I'm here, you get me? It's all good.
We're here.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I was looking forward to coming to the party. So.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Yeah.
I appreciate both of you not turning up today, man.
No.
We appreciate the invite, man.
Yeah?
We appreciate the invite.
Thank you, man.
Respect.
Big up yourselves. Dan,
Yes, brother.
where are you from, my brother? Where's your origins?
I thought you meant the ends.
We're both.
The family is
both.
from Jamaica, brother.
Jamrock,
You know what I
huh?
mean? Jamrock. You know what I mean?
Was you born there?
I wasn't born there. I was born over here.
Whereabouts?
Born in Mother's Hospital, Hackney.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So my foundations is straight Hackney. You know what I mean?
East side in the blood.
Hackneys, very Hackneys. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
fully dangerous then. Fully dangerous. We got danger men in here.
I'm just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't let them fool you with that, you know.
Yeah.
Paul, where are you from, my brother?
I was born in Tooting, South London, in St George's.
Okay.
But my mother's from Italy, and my
Okay.
dad's from Guyana.
Oh,
So
that's
I
interesting.
was born over here.
okay.
You know. Yeah, and I currently live in Croydon. I've been living in Croydon for a long time. Always dotted around South London, from up to Burgess Park, then down to Tooting, Clapham, Balham, Brixton, all over. But always a
Okay.
South Londoner.
Did you grow up with both your parents?
Yeah, my dad died about 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks.
Condolences.
Just in powers, just in powers.
Thank you, bro. I'll be honest. I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Understandably.
He died at 68. So
Okay.
yeah.
Was he in the video with you?
No, he was in the video.
Is he the one with the two swords?
No. He didn't do. He done fencing when he was a kid,
Okay.
but sports fencing and boxing and taekwondo.
Yes.
But he never. Well, he was. I love my dad, but. You know, like most West Indian dads, they like to drop licks. So that was the only licks I learned.
African dads do the same thing now. It's normal. We've all been there.
Blood.
We've all been there. But sorry, let me let the people know about you lot. Paul Wu does still fencing. Yeah, am I correct? You can correct me. Go on.
Yeah, we started off as freestyle fencers.
Freestyle fences.
And we started off in Stone's Gym, car
Okay.
park. I used to go to Stone's Gym and we started off in the car park. Just freestyle fencing with shinai,
Okay.
wooden swords.
Dope.
And we were just doing our thing. We were nothing to do with martial arts world at all. Absolutely. We weren't even training for that.
Mad.
Yeah.
So we started off more around 2000, became quite spiritual.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people start their martial journey looking for spirituality, whereas we were already being very spiritual, and on the spiritual path we found the sword.
Mad.
And that happened. It just happened to be a thing that one of our friends got attacked, and they all pulled out knives and thing.
Okay.
So our automatic response was, if people are going to start, as it's popular now, shanking each other,
Yeah.
it ain't about hurting people, because really what we're all about is love and being humble. But I ain't looking to be no victim. So if someone was if that's the way the society is rolling, well, we're prepping for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? However,
sorry to stop you. You know what? I like that what you said just now, because in this game, it's like people. I don't want to say people are stupid, but like, let's be real. If you're on the roads or something, learn to bleed out. Cut yourself and fast and see how quick your body heals. Like, take your thing serious. No, I'm just saying though, because if that's what made you pick up the sword because your friend got attacked, I'm just saying in general, it should be a normal practice.
This is a thing as well. We went on to live. We went from shinai, wooden swords, to live blade sparring, and then after live blade sparring, we ended up getting called up by martial art clubs from Wing Chun to HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts. We were king of the steel ring at that time.
Okay.
And we went down with a 2-man crew, jumped into their, as we have done on most times, jumped into their school and just, we bested them on the day with 2 men versus 13 on that day.
Okay.
Cleaned about, you know, it's a very much, fencing's a very much a high society thing.
Mad.
And for me, it should be for everybody. I know it's expensive, but, you know, whatever colour you are, whatever, you know, high society to working class people, it should be available for everyone. It's not exclusive.
No, definitely.
So that's the thing we've been breaking through on that.
Even myself with fencing, I only know it to be from like a high class society
That's
sport.
right,
I've seen it on the Olympics and stuff like that. I just know it as the thin swords.
Foil, sabres.
Yeah, and it's for like upper class, and they do. That's all
That's
I know
sports
about
fencing.
fencing.
I remember seeing on Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you though? What style of martial arts are you into and what you do?
Well, the umbrella of what I do is whaling. Now, whaling is something that was created by my uncle, stroke godfather. Yeah, he established it in 1976. Although before that, he was on a thing where he was building upon his martial arts. You know what I mean? He first studied Tai Chi, Wing Chun by a guy called Brian Lau. He was living with Brian Lau. We're not living with him. They was in the same dwelling, you know what I mean, in London Fields. At that time, my uncle was studying karate, you know what I mean? But cut a long story short, he used to train in the garden 24/7, you understand? And he then learned that there was another guy who lived within the same building that was studying Wing Chun. You know what I mean? This particular man who was Brian Lau, yeah? This man wasn't supposed to be in the country, by the way, right? Legal immigrant. He saw Uncle Ruben was, you know what I mean, big on his thing, you know what I mean? And one day he said to Uncle Ruben, touch me. You know what I mean? Uncle Ruben, touch me. You know what I mean? Touch me. So, all right. So he tried to touch him, yeah? In him trying to touch him, guess what? He couldn't touch him.
Okay.
He couldn't touch him, yeah? And it was from then on that he started to study the Wing Chun. You understand? So he was doing the Wing Chun, and plus Brian Lau also knew Tai Chi, plus his son knew ape, knew snake and llama. So he was learning these things from Brian Lau and his son. You understand? But what happened is, cut a long story short again, Brian Lau ended up having to leave the country. He was deported. At that point, Uncle Ruben was in a position where he didn't know the whole form of Tai Chi or Wing Chun or ape, llama and snake. Right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, what do I do now? Bearing in mind, when he took on these things, he threw away his karate outfit because he was like, I can't do this karate thing no more.
Wow.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
He kept the bottoms and dyed them black. You understand? And now he started to learn his things. As I said now, Brian now got sent back over to China. You understand what I'm saying? So at this point now, Ruben's on a thing like, okay, so what do I do now? I don't know the whole form of Wing Chun. I don't know the whole of Tai Chi. What am I supposed to do? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to formulate my own thing. You understand? Yeah. So those arts that were around in those times, these are the things he looked into. And these are the things he looked into in terms of, okay, what's effective and what's not. Yeah. What's effective for me and what's not. So he took these things on. He also got into a lot of combat fights and them things. There people trying to challenge him because they see what he was doing. Plus he wanted to challenge other people because he was now, bear in mind, he was a teenager. He needed to grow his art. You understand? When he realized that his art was ready, because there was times that he would lose. And he was like, okay, I lost. So, okay, what was weak? What was strong? Okay, that was weak. Okay, do I build upon this or do I throw it away? Some things he threw away, some things he kept and built upon. You understand what I'm saying? Then, when he realized that this thing is ready, that's when he started to teach.
Okay.
What do I call it? He remembered his teacher saying, no way is way, no limitation is a limitation. You will also remember Bruce Lee saying the same thing. So, he said, okay, no way is way. Okay, way. No limitation as a limitation. He thought limb. Nah, limb's like your limbs. And okay, I'll call it ling. So he called it Wayling. And the reason why it's called Wayling is to remember Brian Lau, who put him in that direction, the change of direction, because he was fully into the martial arts. So when you hear Wayling, you hear no way as way, no limitation as a limitation. You hear Brian Lau. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, you hear many more ways than one, because there's more ways than one to do all things. Yeah, you want to climb, you want to get through a wall, what do? You break through the wall. You can't break through the wall, you climb over the wall. You can't climb over, you go around. You can't go around, you go under. You find a way, because there's many more ways than one to do many things, to do all things.
Powers.
No way as way, no limitation as a limitation. Wayling.
Respect that one.
Powers.
So is that how you got introduced into it through your uncle?
I got introduced. It's mad this here now. I got introduced to. You see, it sounds like a cliche when people say, "I was in this thing from when I was born." I was in this thing from when I was very, very young. Yeah, when I was living in Hackney, Homerton. Right.
How old?
I left Homerton Nisbet House probably when I was about maybe 4 or something like that. Yeah, but during those times, my dad used to play a lot of kung fu movies, like constantly kung fu movies. Yeah, I remember Snake and the Eagle Shadow. I remember Enter the Dragon, and I remember Fist of Fury. I grew up on Bruce Lee. I grew up on kung fu classics as a whole. Yeah, so I remember. Although it's very, it's not very clear, but I remember those were the films that I remember fully. Yeah. He taught me the art of observation, the art of awareness. So, for example, I might be walking past this door here, and he might be hiding there. And as I walk past, he will jump out and attack me. And this is what he would be doing regular.
That's dope.
So I'd have to be on my ones and twos, like
Training your instincts. Yeah.
training my instincts on my ones and twos regular. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? That was when it really got intense, was when I was about 9. Yeah. When I got to 10, that's when he sent me to Uncle Reuben to then learn the Wayling. Reuben Joseph, aka Lionheart. Yes. So I've done Wing Chun. I've done this is the way how I remember what I've done. I practice more. I practice Tai Chi, shout. Nah, you know what? I can't even remember the fucking lyrics. I practiced Tai Chi, Wing Chun, Shaolin. I practiced Taekwondo, not Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and boxing. Yeah, with the Shaolin. I moved from the Shaolin in terms of the high kicks and the this and the that and went more into the breathing, which was the Qigong. You understand? Because everything is about breathing. Internal. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's what I've done. But everything comes under Wayling. I've put all of that into my Wayling.
What about you, Paul? Where did your love start from?
Martial arts.
Yeah.
Just like Banna, I started off watching with my dad. He'd been a West Indian Chinese. You know, anything that takes you back home. You know, kung fu movies, and especially in the 80s, 70s, 80s. I mean,
Come on.
My dad used to go down to Odeon in Streatham at 1 o'clock in the morning, and every man would be piling in there watching Bruce Lee films. Kung fu, they come out, everyone take their Bruce Lee.
It's real. I heard them stories, man.
Me as a kid, I thought I was him after watching that.
No, the days he was talking of, I know what he's talking, man.
The 70s.
It was like a craze, yeah?
Everyone be coming out fighting and shit.
Down in Bricky or Streatham, and there'd be like late night showings of kung fu movies.
Yeah.
All the
Picture House
generation,
and all
like
that.
my dad, his dad's generation, they'd be going to the cinemas watching these things, and everyone come out, what?
Yeah.
All of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like everyone turned into Bruce.
You know what?
There was certain locations that would show martial arts movies specifically.
Yeah.
On a Friday, was it a Friday night?
Like
Was it?
Friday, Saturday, matinee.
And everyone would come out and be doing their
You go there, you smoke a joint. You know, you're in the cinema. Everyone's having a smoke and watching the thing, and you come out, everyone live.
Yeah, I was told of that still.
Oh my God,
That's dope. I like that energy.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been born in those times.
Yeah,
man.
come on, man.
Like, I can't lie. I feel like I'm an old soul, man. I love all that.
That brotherhood, little like a club, like
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's right.
Interest.
But that didn't really I was lazy, so I just watched the movies, and like we got like Big Banna. My father go around his friend's yard. I go with him, and everybody got kung fu film, Jackie Chan on, I really like Jackie Chan quite a lot. I respect him because he puts it on the line, even though he's entertainment.
Yeah.
He puts his life on the line for his shizzle.
Yeah.
So I give him like big respect for that. I mean, I don't mind putting on the line, but I'll do it on the ground with a sword in my hand, not jumping out of a helicopter or some building or some little roof or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was lazy, so I tried a little bit of Wushan Chinese boxing. I lasted not very long. There were a few bullies in the class. I didn't last. I went to Sam Tudan for a little bit to try that. Didn't really take to it. And I really just left it alone. I wasn't interested. I didn't really get back into... Oh, then I went into Wing Chun with Wei Po Tang.
Okay.
He's quite a renowned guy.
Wing Chun.
But I've done about a year with him.
Wing Chun, is like Ip Man.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Ip Man was one of the main people that a lot of people know
different
of.
lineages.
Yeah, different. That's right, different
So
lineages.
Ip Man's just one lineage.
That's right.
Know. But I ended up there for a year. But accumulatively, in my youth, it was no more than 2 years doing martial arts, and didn't think nothing of it. And I wasn't really into it. It was a world away from me because I was like hustling, you know what I mean, as a youngster.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really at the forefront. And then I found spirituality because crisis hit me.
Okay.
And then I found sword. And at 30, that's when me and sword start connect.
Yeah.
And for James and the rest of the guys.
Powers. And we are back with the most dangerous men in the world.
Hey, you're a joker.
Yes.
Trust me, I'm just me.
Yo, we got Paul Wu's, one of Paul Wu's first students here. What's your name, my brother?
My name is James. But so basically, I'm just a gentle soul. Basically, when I was a kid, used to just get into a lot of fights. Just like, you know, people would tease me, oh, I'm gonna step on this or step on that creature and whatever. And so I say I learned to fight at a young age, but I just fought a lot in it. And when I got older, it was 12 times in it, and I was a bit of a conspiracy theorist. So I'm like, let me get ready for this. So I see Paul and them mans are training with the sword and that, and I'm like, let me jump on that. So started training up for that. Obviously, just kept it going a bit, and after that, we started out with the wooden swords and that, but obviously after like a year or two, moved on to the steel ones. But we found that people weren't really making us tools and that because they were a bit middle class snobbery kind of thing. Who are you street urchins coming and trying to do our art kind of thing? So
they weren't making you tools.
Yeah. They wouldn't have made weapons for us, innit? Because you have to get them custom made, really. So they're all a bit elitist, innit? And neo-Nazi. Some of them, not all of them, innit? But
so there's racism in steel fencing as well. Yeah.
Think of the people who are making the manufacturers, isn't it? Yeah.
No. I'm really generalising it a bit here, innit? Like there was just one or two people in it, but you know what I'm saying, innit?
Okay.
So we started out, let's make our own tools. So we started, just messing about, customizing things, and then eventually started to make Batjan Daos for Wing Chun and things like that.
How many youths do you have in your Wushan steel classes?
We got regulars in it, man. There's like 3-4 regulars, but there's people come and go in it. It's expensive. People come for a while, but then it's just like you need to buy your equipment and it's £600 in it, and people kind of filter out after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's everything, though, isn't it? Everything you got to invest into.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
you don't invest.
It's a more of a middle class thing, innit? Because they're the ones that can afford it as well, and it's more of a. I'm gonna learn the treaties, take them for verbatim, and then do Talhofer 6 and then just kind of do it robotically instead of more fluid.
When you say middle class, it's a middle class thing here, isn't it?
It's not
all over the world.
No, not all over the world. But the swords we get made, some of them are made Hungary, some of them are made in where else? Man?
Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Is it 100% steel?
Yeah, of course. But
have you got a sword on you right now?
No, I mean, bring them on a tube and that in it, but
dangerous men walking a dangerous time.
no, this time.
Yeah,
with glasses as well. Whoa.
So you said you were fighting a lot when you were younger. Obviously, you yourself took it upon yourself to get involved with fencing.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from, you said you're a bit of conspiracy theorist and self-defense.
I used to be when I was younger.
You're not no more?
No, not no more. No.
But I'm assuming it's also with self-defense, right?
Huh?
It's also to do with self-defense, isn't it? Like,
with the world, I've
Yeah, it was just.
Oh, you're more in attack mode.
No, not at all. It was just, exactly. Well, that's what martial arts is, to protect yourself. If you ain't going out, if it's not about protecting
and
yourself, then...
Did that give you discipline in your fighting? The question I wanted to get to. How did that affect your your
No,
temper?
the discipline is what drew me to it in the first place, kind of thing, because I'm more methodical and logical in the things that I do. So it was like martial arts is the methodical way to fight. So it was kind of went from windmilling when I'm like 7 years old, kind of thing, to how can I do this more effectively?
Okay.
You see what I've noticed from you three already. You lot articulate yourselves very well. So I think that martial arts gives you a lot of character. It builds a lot of character.
I think it depends on the individual again.
When you first spoke, I felt your powers straight away. Yeah, so it's like something in it.
Again, it's down to the individual again, you know, because different people get into martial arts for different reasons. You get some people, they get into it to beat up on people. Yeah, ego trip, ego
Black
thing,
belt,
you know what
beat
I mean?
up on people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you learn that martial arts is definitely about defending yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Definitely about defending yourself. But to me, first things first, you then get to realize that it's about learning self. It's about the self-discipline. You know what I mean? Yeah. First, you know what I mean? You also find that when you train and you come to a certain level, you don't have to fight. You know what I mean? It's almost as if, because like my brother next door to me.
Can you stop
next
bullets?
to me.
Can you stop bullets with your hands?
No, you can't stop. And that's another thing. I'm glad you said that, because you know, when some people think of martial arts, they think of movies.
Yep.
Yes.
This ain't no movie thing. This is real life. You know what I mean? Right. So when you're watching all these kung fu classic things and all these neo fights and all these things, that's all movie. You know what I mean? The reality is, yes, you can do certain things. You know what I mean? But you're not to get caught up in thinking it's all about movies. You'll get into a fight and you can get hurt. You can get touched. You know what I mean? But it's, what do you do when you've been touched? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you fall apart and end up losing because your brain just gone all foggy and it's like, oh God, what do I do? It's all about just reacting. It's reactionary.
It's like programming the machine on how to behave.
I wouldn't say, well, in a sense it is, but in you doing your drills and all these type of things, the drills are not there for you to say, right, if this happens, this is what you do. If that happens, that is what you do. You just do. You just react.
It's fluid.
You understand? So, for example, if something happened, you learn in the class how you do this. You can't determine what the other person is going to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, you might end up being in a headlock and you might end up biting the person.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
It don't necessarily mean you learned that.
Rather than that move, when someone
Right.
gets in the headlock, do this.
Right.
That's exactly the
Right.
with martial arts now. Man.
Precisely.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
You didn't do the move properly, but bro, if you got into a fight, you're not gonna say, "Hey, no, you can't punch
Nah,
like that."
I'll
man."
guide you. I'll guide you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
doing everything.
So you go in, because like when I was teaching, I didn't teach you to be like me. I taught you to be like yourself, to draw out what you have within you. So you go in with your abilities, and what we're doing is basically giving additionals for you to enhancing what you already have. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Mad.
That's dope.
Mad.
Let me bring it back to your original point about stopping bullets, bro. You can't stop bullets.
No.
What you can do is show a demeanor that someone might be afraid to shoot you. Someone might be afraid to stab you. When you got someone swinging swords at you all day, just for fun kind of thing, and then someone pulls a knife out and you, it's this kind
What's
of
this little thing here?
I just
Right,
laughed
you're
at
used
him,
to the
and then they're walking towards him, and he's walking back with the knife, bro. And it's like, I'm not afraid of you, G. Like, obviously, like he's saying, it's not a movie. You can get a real bad man that's like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna try and shank you. And to be real, 9 times out of 10, someone's got a knife. You got your hand with some skin on it, bro. Like Richard Pryor says, just run, bro, because it ain't a movie. There ain't no music when you get shanked. But we've done drills, and it is very possible to win a fight, bare hand versus a knife. So,
How do you lot define chi?
Chi is energy.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll have different nations of people. They'll it's called a different thing, but it's the same thing. It's energy.
Yes.
It's life force. It's prana. It's kundalini.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ruach. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All of that is chi, and everybody has chi. Everything, yeah, that is life force. You understand? But you know, some people, they cultivate the life force to be able to do certain things.
That's what it's cultivated, right?
So you see, when you see like the Shaolin guys, when you see them bending swords with their neck and lying on beds of what do you call it, needles, and getting chopped with axes and nothing, that's the chi. That's the chi. Because when I was doing the chi gong, I could have went into that, but I decided to go into the meditative part of it.
Why?
Because I didn't see, for me, I didn't see the point in me going into that. I wasn't really interested in that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because how often do I go out in the road and someone comes to come and joke me? You know what I mean? Not very often. When I was younger, that would have probably been more of a reason to have maybe gone into that. But as an older person, no, I went to the meditative
where you can apply every day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So the steel jacket thing.
How often do you meditate?
Sorry?
How often do you meditate?
Good question. I haven't meditated in quite a long time. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah. But when I was meditating, I meditated as much as possible. I didn't put a time on it. There weren't like, I couldn't tell you that this amount of time, that amount of time. It's just when I decided to meditate. I haven't done it in a while, and I keep telling myself I need to get back to it. And I will, but I just haven't as yet.
And Paul?
Sorry.
How often do you meditate?
Often.
Often.
Reason being is I'm looking at the multiverse. I ain't just looking at what's in front of me. I'm looking. It started off, as a youngster, I used to have a little smoke and thing, and I used to get into deep thought. And one day, my thing had burned out, but I could still see the smoke.
Okay.
And it was more, I was seeing the ethereal, what was going on between me and what I was looking at. But because I'm thinking about something else, but my eyes are looking at what's in front of me, but I was drifted. And that's when meditation started bringing in viewing, or what we call viewing, meditative viewing, to see the multiverse and the ethereal realm.
James, so what would you recommend any sort of martial arts to all children, as in like it should be maybe even implemented into schools or education?
Definitely. Just I remember saying it teaches discipline. So if you know what it's like for you to hit someone and for someone to hit you, you're going to think twice about bullying someone or inflicting pain or just misery on other people, because you've experienced yourself firsthand. You know how to stop your anger when you're sparring with someone. They hit you maybe a little bit too hard, and then you learn a bit of discipline there, where you don't want to turn it into a real fight, hit them too hard back.
How about when you know how people say if you've got a gun you may use it, if you've got a knife you're going to use it. If you learn how to fight or any form of martial arts, do you think there's a slight possibility there'll be more violence, whether or not with weapons or not? It's just more people will be more on fighting to kind of use it, or again that Banna was saying, it depends more on the teacher and the person for that. I
feel like if there was more fighting, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. It's just there has to be, people just can't go brawling on the street. If you've got an altercation with someone, instead of going 10 man up, sticking a knife in them and then saying I'm a bad man, approach them and say, okay, we've got an altercation here, let's take it somewhere, let's have a fist fight, let's use pistols and take 10 paces, do whatever you need to do, but just make sure that it's civilized and there's rules behind it.
It's like what Banna Dan said, didn't it? You get into it for self-defense, so you ain't gonna just go attack people, are you?
Yeah, that's getting into it. So that's what I meant. If say, for example, it was in PE in school.
Yeah.
Like
It
for
is in a lot
PE,
of
there's
schools.
So now there's a martial arts. There's type of style in PE. Of course, if this is nationwide, those same people who are, say, bad breeds where they are now, everyone knows how to fight, the bullies, everything. What are the pros and cons in that, if you see any?
The pros, as I said,
Yeah.
I think people would have more respect and chivalry for each other, but I don't think it's ever going to eliminate people wanting to stab or shoot people or anything like that, because at the end of the day, the fighting is violence. You're teaching people how to control their violence, but it's always going to escalate. And if the stakes are high enough, you're gonna not quit there. If you get beaten up and you lose the fight, but you feel like you're morally correct, you're gonna come back with a knife. You're gonna come back with a gun. And it just, if that wasn't the case, then all wars could be fought. Two nations, they could just sit down and have a game of chess and then decide who gets the oil field or whatever. But when someone loses the game of chess, it's just always going to revert back to violence. And if my violence is bigger than your violence, then
Have you ever been in a situation where your skills had to get put to use? And you kind of like, you were lucky you had those skills.
Now it got to the point where it's like the art of fighting without fighting. I'll get into an altercation now, and it will be, the person can see that I'm not afraid of anything, and I'm not. I want to fight, and I'm not. Oh, please, sir, I don't want to fight. It's just, can you stop doing what you're doing, please? I'll ask them nicely once, and if that don't respond to that, then I'll ask them, and if they don't respond to that, then I'll get a bit upset, and then that 100% of the time stops the occasion.
So it's the confidence then.
You know what? It's people that would fight me if I came to them with disrespect, but I'm respectful first. Yeah. And then they can see, okay, this guy's being respectful to me, so I'm going to be respectful back because I know what would happen if I came to him with disrespect.
When you know your abilities, when you know the outcome of what you're able to do, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there. And as brother said, like myself, I give ample chances. As a youngster, there was no chances. I would just deal with you. I would just deal with you. I was very hot-headed, and I reacted instantly. No talking. You understand what I'm saying?
Sorry to cut you, but was part of that wanting to test out your skills?
It wasn't testing out my skills. I was just a fighter.
Okay.
I'm a natural fighter anyway. So in terms of me using martial arts, I've used it. I always thought it was twice, but when I think of it, it's 3 times I've used it in my life.
Mad.
Okay.
3 times in my life. Yeah. Other than that, I'm just a fighter. Yeah. But I've come to a place where I've become a lot more humble in myself.
Is that due to age?
Chances.
That's due to martial arts.
Due to martial arts.
I think a lot of males are just natural fighters, but they don't get a chance to express it anywhere. Everything is, oh no, you can't be violent ever. And it's not really fair to push that on people if they want to be able to outlet it somewhere. So that's what martial arts is. It's a place to outlet your violent instincts because we're all human, but at the same time temper them into something else and then learn to focus that inwards and experience the universe within by meditating, and then everything becomes clear kind of thing, all through fighting.
Dan, you had an occasion where you had about 10 police officers on you, and you handled all of them, didn't you?
The numbers, you see, it's mad because when I remember back, my uncle also had an altercation with 18 policemen in Tottenham, if I remember correctly, and he was in the park training, and the police decided to bother him. You know what I mean? Like, what's this guy doing? And decided to just bother him. And he didn't want the botheration. He just wanted to train. You know what I mean? And cut a long story short, he broke up 18 policemen all by himself.
Mad.
Yeah? That's how serious he was. You understand what I'm saying to you? I say he because he's no longer with us. You know what I mean?
Yes. Lionheart, right?
Lionheart. Ruben Joseph Lionheart. You know what I mean? And myself, yes, years down the line, I got into a thing with police. I was training in Hackney Downs Park. I went for a jog. I decided to come out of the park and walk down Downs Park Road where Mosbourne School is, which used to be Hackney Downs School, if I remember correctly, Hackney Downs. I was walking down there, and the police van decided they were going to stop. They stopped. I just carried on walking. All I heard, doom, 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 doom. You know the sound when they all decided to jump out their van and close the doors, and they come running over to me. I just carried on walking. One of them grabbed me. I sort of pulled off, carried on walking. I just kept doing that. I turned around, I said, "Listen, leave me alone.
Why are they trying to stop you? What was
For no reason, bro, as far as I was concerned at the time, you know what I mean? Yeah, cut a long story short, they all tried to grab hold of me, and I didn't fight because I knew if I did,
That's what they
it would have.
wanted.
That's what they wanted. Number one, and number two, we know where that would have went. Yeah, so basically, whilst they used force to try and grab me and all these things, put me in headlocks and all this, I went light. I used lightness against heaviness, and I basically just slipped out everything that they tried to. You know what I mean?
What's that style called then of martial arts?
Which style?
Where you use their weight against them.
There's quite a number of them. But most people would probably know of Aikido. You know what I mean? Most people know of Tai Chi, Bagua. You know what I mean? But there's quite a number of them that use the energy against yourself. So if you come with force, Wing Chun also uses that as well. You know what I mean? So if you use your force and came with full on, submitted yourself, the other person may have just not used no force and just used you.
Mitigating the force, like something like Tai Chi or Aikido, would
Yeah.
be more using the force that they gave to
That
you.
they gave
against-
to you precisely.
against them,
So
yeah.
you use it against them.
Like a counter.
So you throw your punch.
Yeah.
And from your submission,
Your
full on
force.
submission,
Yeah.
you might end up in the wall behind them. Not because they used force against you, but they used your momentum
They converted.
and swiftly threw you into the wall.
What was the outcome of that police incident?
The outcome of it is I ended up saying to myself, this is long. I'm just walking down the road. They can't stop me. They can't hold me. So I said, you know what? Put my hands up, and they took me down to the floor, knee in my back, blah, 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 and all the rest of it.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, I got a million of those stories, but I'll tell you a quick one. So we were basically training in the park, and we had 15, 20 police cars. I'm pretty sure there was a helicopter, the vans, the works at Streatham Common. They come up both sides, all jumped out, armed response unit, looked at us, and then jumped back in the van. And it was like, someone must have called the police and said, there's some mad guys in the park with swords, they're running around, it's a killing spree. So they all got their M16s out, there's these kids running around playing football in between us and that, and then they was like, what's going on? And they just dipped, man. But obviously, mixed race, I had a 1 series, my car was marked for weapons, which I don't understand why it was marked for weapons, because the swords we use are intentionally designed to not cause injury. That's the opposite definition of a weapon. So why was my car marked for weapons?
So they blunt.
Yeah, they're blunt, flex tempered. They're made to not injure people, and a weapon is made to injure people. So how is it a weapon? It looks like it at a glance, but police are stupid. So you could imagine how many times I got stopped driving around. in
That's why I
lockdown
wanted to
and-
ask.
Yeah.
You must have a lot of problems with that, yeah.
I mean, I'm a registered instructor, so
Okay. So, what Paul said, you make weapons.
Yeah.
Right. So, as in, you literally get the material and make the swords.
Yeah, exactly. So what it is, back in the day when you made a sword, what you would do, get a billet, and people still do that now. Hammer out a billet because you got a piece of raw iron and you needed to hammer out all of the carbon, get the impurities out of it. Yeah, exactly. Try Z. Now you can just buy perfect sheet steel that come from a factory. There's no impurities in it, and there's half the work for you. So just to save a bit of time, what most people do, especially with the if it's a real sword and you want to pay a lot of money for that, you pay the money because it's made the old way. But if it's just a sparring sword, that, to be fair, you have to make them better than real swords. And with a real sword, you're not going to know if it's going to snap or not until after you've used it. And if it snaps, you dead. So no refunds, bro. You dead. With a training sword, that's getting used day in, day out, all day, and it has to last. So it's better to use perfect machine steel than hammer it out yourself, unless you're a master blacksmith. So sheet steel, cut it out. Guards and whatnot, usually use the plasma cutter for that because the steel was quite thick. But we were casting things and getting into knife making. And
Is that a job then, or you just do that on the side?
no, basically I'm an engineer by trade, so that's just kind of the side project. But I've always been into making
Yeah,
things.
'cause that's
Again, that's what
blacksmith,
drew me
that's
to
big,
martial
that's
arts.
big,
Martial
that's
arts
big.
was the science of fighting. So that's,
Big ratings, my bro.
Don't know.
Let's bring it round the children because they're the youth, they're the future, right? What is the best style to get children into martial arts with?
There isn't a best start again. There isn't a best
There's
start
no like
again.
basic level karate. Then
There's basic level in every art. There is
everything.
basic level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's what, as I said before, it's you go into a sports shop, what trainer
Right.
fits you.
Yeah.
You might like the trainer,
Yeah.
but does it feel good on your foot?
Yeah.
When you're walking, does it hurt? Is it digging into your toes?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's no best. There's no best. It's what you think fits you. You could have a black belt and then you have a white belt who's just come through the door, and the one who's come through the door might beat the shit out of the black belt. So it's
Because he's 10th dan in another art, but in karate.
okay.
he's a white belt.
So then is it the belt?
Yeah.
Again, it's the person.
Bad.
But I think
Muay
with the
Thai,
children,
I'm a
it's a
guy,
nice
man,
thing.
karate.
With the children, it's a good thing because it does give them an incentive to reach a certain.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's an incentive. You can see, and it's martial art. It started out for military purposes, and so it was almost like a ranking system. I would imagine you could see who was above you, who was below you. Didn't mean you were better or worse than them. It was just there needs to be some kind of hierarchy to, and clear path of progression. So I've been doing this for 20 years, and where I'm at, okay, you can see where you are. You're a third dan now, kind of thing. So
Understanding the mechanics of the body is important, isn't it? In like
Most definitely.
yeah. So is there like a written or theory that you lot got to do?
What?
For,
Sorry.
like, children, a written or a theory to understand more about the mechanics of the body, or is it just
everyone's body's different, man.
someone could be a better puncher, right, and someone could be a better kicker. Someone can move better,
Exactly.
because he's got better balance.
Exactly. So is one better than the other?
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just different
Yeah.
styles. Yeah.
Different styles.
If I take you down to the ground, you're different
Right.
to staying on my feet. Like,
But I don't know, for some reason, in school at least, a lot of fights I got into and a lot of fights that I saw, it just turned into people grabbing
Grappling,
each other's blazers
headlock,
and then
yes,
swinging
yeah,
each
yeah,
other
swinging,
around
yeah,
because
yeah.
no one really wanted to fight, but there was
Yeah.
a whole crowd of people watching, so you're just so it'll be useful to be able to stay on your feet or know how to just end the fight before it begins by flooring someone before any punch was thrown, kind of thing.
What is the most misunderstood thing about Kung Fu?
The misunderstood.
Yeah.
A lot of people, again, misconstrue the thing. They think that it's
a movie.
Kung Fu movies.
Jet Li.
Do you know what I
Drunken
mean?
Master.
So
That-
you'll
that's what they
find,
got, though.
so
That's
you'll
what they got to
find,
know,
so
though,
you'll
really.
find that a lot of
The
people,
army
they'll,
as well, man.
yeah.
That's what people
So you'll
talk
find
about.
people will come to learn, and when they see it's not movies, they can fall off. So therefore, when you came to learn, what was your mindset? What was your heart in the first place? Was it to actually learn because you actually wanted to learn, or is it because you were gassed on these movies and thought you could do this Bruce Lee and Jet Li thing? You know what I mean?
They man gassed up a lot of people still.
Gassed up a lot of people, and you see the people that are gassed up because they always fall off.
But them man got them.
To be fair,
They're
I watched
flying,
some of these
innit?
movies to gas me up to carry on training.
I was
so,
gassed
yeah,
when I
yeah,
watched
yeah.
them. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, they got me like commercial.
But that's the difference. You might have been gassed by the movies,
Yeah.
but in you getting involved,
Yeah.
although you was gassed by the movies, in you getting involved, you was getting involved because you want to
I wanted
be
to.
involved.
I got involved with karate for a little stage, but I couldn't follow through just because we moved house and then
Yeah,
that's how it
yeah.
started. But when I was involved, I wanted to go the furthest
Precisely.
extent because I just saw all
Yeah.
the benefits. You
yeah,
know?
there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah,
a
and just
whole
how
load of benefits.
how people treat you as well. Because it's self-confidence.
Yeah.
And when you move like that outside, people are going to treat you differently, whether
Yeah.
they know you're a fighter or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all of that, that's what I wanted to get to. Paul mentioned spirituality. Is spirituality a big part of it?
Definitely.
Yeah,
It should be
yeah.
the foundation.
Yeah. If you're going to talk, it'll be good to get you on this.
Come.
All right,
Come close to the mic,
I just wanted to say a couple of things, and leading onto the spiritual thing.
Yes.
We did face a lot of resistance up and coming, and people didn't want to make our tools. But every adversity we faced made us better because it pushed us to have to learn something new.
Okay.
And in a way, it was a positive thing. And we are probably the largest producers and makers as it stands today. From the beginning,
See?
for blunt steel, spring-tempered sparring weapons for the Eastern market, and you're looking at a market of 40 million people worldwide. So if I could get 40 million people that are already doing kung fu that do have weapon systems, but don't teach full systems because they don't, if they all get onto it, the last chapter of martial arts, that's a huge multi-billion-pound market.
Talk about multi-billions. I'll do marketing if you ever need
Oh,
any
cool,
help.
man. Listen, I need all the help we can get, bro. Honestly.
Right.
Honestly, but the spiritual thing, you need spirituality.
Yeah.
To temper the harshness of the blade or harshness of the fist. You need balance. You were talking about balance earlier, but you need balance. And spirituality balances the harshness of the violence.
So do you believe in a God then?
I believe in the Tao. Like you talk about Bruce Lee and following the way. I believe in the way, the Tao.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee believed in the Tao. I believe in the Tao, not because of Bruce Lee. But it's following the natural order. If anything, my muse has been Muhammad Ali, and Musashi. Bruce Lee didn't really come into it for me.
Is Bruce Lee the real deal, or did Hollywood just make him that guy?
Everyone lean back.
Everyone disappeared.
Like they're not stepping on that one.
Oh,
You know what? What's that? There's a film I recently watched, Quentin Tarantino, and Bruce Lee got beat up by Brad Pitt in it, and it's like, are you not trying to tell us something?
Everyone talks about Bruce Lee, bro. Where's Chuck Norris, bro? Bruce Lee even said himself, bro, that Chuck Norris would have murked him.
Oh, is Chuck the guy? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, bro, according to Bruce Lee.
Dan, what are you saying there, Dan?
Why, he's an actor?
I would say
For clarification, this is Banna Dan at Banna Dan.
Saga.
Any of the family still about? Do not come for powers.
I would say Bruce Lee is who Bruce Lee is. We can't say he weren't able to do what he trained to do. Neither can we say that he is as great as people say that he is, because in life people perceive everybody as something. Nobody is able to speak the exact of what you are or see exactly what you are. You within yourself know what you are. You understand? So Bruce Lee within himself knows exactly what he was or was not able to do. We don't. We can only go by what people tell us. You know what I mean? And we can't go off of the movies because it's movies.
Like, if Bruce walked in here right now, bro.
It would take us.
Yes, sir.
But you know, there's love for Bruce Lee said way. You know what I mean?
I'll
Because
watch
I
that.
grew up on Bruce Lee and them thing there. You know what I mean?
As like superhero levels
what I'm
of
saying?
strength.
Like when he's taking out the whole school of
yeah.
people,
You
like
know what I
coming
mean?
one by one. Like.
Hold on. Let's get real a minute.
Go ahead.
Right? Bruce Lee was good, right? In his era, no doubt about it.
100.
Okay?
100.
But when you mark a man like that up against, say, Musashi, 25 kills, lived out, he didn't die. He got sent out to pasture, Musashi. Or Genghis Khan. You talk about people that are on battlefield.
Yep.
Bruce Lee had a few fights, but he weren't on no battlefield.
With a fighter.
Took Bruce Lee to some black alleys in Thailand, you would have got.
And put it this way, we spent 21 years nothing but bouting.
Yeah.
Through the whole of Wing Chun, through any style that wanted it, we were bouting.
Paul saying
Bruce Lee didn't
me
do
and
that
Bruce-
for 21 years.
I hear
You
it.
saying he was talking
Paul
Bruce
saying
Lee?
me and Bruce in the
That's legit for
alleyway.
21, and Bruce Lee didn't do sword either. So I'm not saying Bruce Lee was great, but he was like.
Banna try to say it humbly,
He was
right?
a movie man.
I have to remain humble because I have to.
But he was a light man as well. He was
I have
small.
to give people their dues, their respects, and them things there for what they do. You know what I mean? Everyone does their thing. You know what I mean?
Respect to Bruce.
You know what I mean? 100%.
Movie man.
But what I want to say about the spirituality though.
Take it off, Bruce.
Yeah. But what I want to say about the spirituality though is 100% what my brothers were saying on the spirituality and them things there. You know what I mean? But also we have to also know that we are all spiritual. You know what I mean? We are all physical. You know what I mean? Physical beings. We are all conscious. Precisely. We are all spiritual beings. You know what I mean? So when we speak of spirituality, sometimes I question, what is spirituality? We are all spirits living a life of the spirit. You know what I mean? So for me also, like speaking of spirituality is how we cultivate that part of us.
Yes.
Because although we are all spirits, not all of us feed the spirit.
Yes.
Most of us, we feed the physical self. We are all smoking, not all of us, smoking, drinking, raving, sexing, this, that, distractions.
Emptiness you feel inside because
100.
You're not feeling yourself.
Right,
Facts.
so you're not feeding the true you that will remain when this part of you expires.
Facts.
I loved when you said that. I love that as well. So this looks like this cures depression and other little illnesses.
Yeah, all these other
Yeah.
stuff.
One of my mates, he broke up with his girlfriend. He come to me the other day and he's saying he feels sad and this and that. I'm saying, boy, what happened to Jim? Where was your outlet?
Yeah.
Okay. That's going back to the spirituality thing as well. My perception of spirituality is consciousness itself. The universe itself is conscious, and
Right.
the only way that one thing could exist is if it split itself and then interacted with itself, and that's what the universe is. That's why everything can be brought back to
Manifestations of the
And
one
I
thing.
love that.
That's
You
it.
said it so
Yes,
beautifully.
That's exactly what I feel.
Big up, Jim.
yes.
Big up, Jim.
Multiple
Oh, you wanna add to that?
manifestations of the same thing.
Yes.
100.
I just want to say one thing about spirituality. What was I going to say about spirituality? And I lost my thread. I want to be love. That's who I am. I love people. I love humanity. The sword ain't there for me to hurt people. It's to protect me so that I can be love. Because we live in an ugly world that don't like love. Love is seen as weakness. But the whole point of the sword for us was that I could go out and be who I really am spiritually and not be victimized for being that. I can defend myself if people want to attack love. And people do want to attack love. That's the trouble with the world.
right.
We need more love in it.
I need more balance, man.
Yeah.
It's just good you guys say that
yeah.
because, again, it's like when we say spirituality, there's so many terms, words for it. You said chi, kundalini. There's so many different words. Same way other people say they're spiritual in, I don't know, people use sage and these things. The spirituality you talk of dua, is that what it's called?
Dao.
Dao. Is that a fighting term? As in,
How would you spell that, please, for the audience?
DAO.
DAO.
DAO? Is that a spirit?
Some people spell it TAO.
It's just following the natural way of life, natural order of nature.
Where's that
In
from?
movement
Where's
and-
it from?
Where did it originate?
Yeah, where's
China,
it originate?
it's China.
Is it Chinese?
Yeah, and Japanese took it and called it Zen and done their own rendition.
And that's aside from fighting, from martial arts.
That's a side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a side.
Side,
Yeah.
side
Okay.
from. Where did martial arts originate?
India. Well, for the East, it was India, and then went to China, and then China just took it and bammed it, and then I mean, everybody was fighting back in the day.
Yeah.
Dan?
You'll find that people will say that it came from Africa originally.
I heard that.
Yeah, Montu arts. Yeah, when you speak of Montu, you're speaking of the deity Montu.
Mad.
Yeah, that dealt with war. Yeah, and when you speak of war, you're speaking of Mars energy. Mars is the martial. Yeah, the god of war. Yeah, so when you're speaking of martial arts.
Okay.
Speaking of Montu, you're speaking of Mars.
I just have to give a Lao Tzu a shout out if anyone's interested in learning more about Taoism.
Lao Tzu.
Yeah. Mad.
But then in
I like
Chinese, martial, or as Banna saying Mars, my name is Wu. Wu means martial in Chinese. You understand? So, my family come from a long line of from Jing bodyguards. So, I mean, they were terrors of the Chinese. Chinese lands. They were a little bit. They were quite ruthless. The Wu clan. They were known for being rough riders, crude, smart, cunning, and just good fighters. They used Wu, my clan, for bodyguards and merchants and all this kind of thing. So, as Banna says, martial, Mars, and the African. Montu and the African lineage. Also, the Chinese side is Wu, and that means martial in Chinese. So you find Wu.
It all connects.
It's all
all
connected.
connected.
I like the way you
It's
brought
all
that down.
connected.
Mars, martial. I love that. I never knew
It's
that.
all connected.
It's obvious, but it's just
Yeah.
that brought to me. But that's good. I love that.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
all, it's all
wow.
connected.
Why do you call trainers masters?
Cool. What trainers, man?
Because ain't master a thing like
You see, with
limited them?
masters,
Or they have no.
From back in the day,
yeah.
you would go and you would train under them, and you wouldn't pay them, you would serve them as well. So you would wake up. You know, in the old school kung fu movies, go fetch the water from the well, boy. Like that's not martial art training. You're going to get water for his tea. Look at Kill Bill when she goes to stay with what's his name, man.
I know you're talking about
the guy with the eyebrows.
But
Pai Mei.
Isn't it though? Isn't it part of it though?
Feed him and,
Is
like
what,
going to get
masters?
water and
you have to do
strengthening
everything
you up.
that person
Yeah,
says,
everything that
so
person
they
says.
are your master.
Yeah.
Well, in Chinese you call them sifu,
Seafood.
and now sifu
Or
means
shifu.
teacher. So
Yeah.
it's similar to like master, but it's teacher.
right.
They're teaching you. They're like a surrogate parent.
I prefer
That's right.
teacher.
Because because when I was under the John Moe Association, for example, it was Sifu for John Moe. Joseph
sensei
Mann,
in
sorry.
Japan, it's
Yeah,
different.
but when I was doing the Shaolin, I called my teachers Shifu. So Shifu, Sifu, it's different. It depends on the art that you're with, you know what I mean, and where it is that you're training.
How do you recognise a good teacher?
How do you recognize them?
If I wanted to go to a school, how would I know he's a good teacher?
You'd have to know for yourself.
Gel with different people. Some people
Right.
would want to some people we found want to stand in a line and then just do punch, or chop.
Okay,
chop.
sorry,
They don't
It's
want-
what you.
some
It's
people
what.
wanna be
What do
more
you
fluid
see?
with it.
Let me
It's-
rephrase
What
that.
do you see in terms of what is a good teacher for yourself?
I see.
And that goes by what you see with your own self and by you speaking to other people. And by you training, you will know within yourself if that's for you.
if you're getting fulfilled or not. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like if you go to a class to learn geography or science or whatever. What is a good teacher?
How much are you learning?
Exactly. You know what I mean? You'll know whether it's a good teacher.
You can get
and
the
if it's
best
for
teacher in
you.
the world. If they speak a language you don't know, then the training is going to be ineffective. So it just depends on the match between student and teacher, I guess, more than.
But with the whole master thing, for example, Uncle Rubin, even though he was the founder of Wayling, he didn't call himself master. He didn't consider himself master. Other people would call him that. People just called him by his name.
And how would he respond when they call him master?
He didn't respond in any way. This is if that's how you want to see me, then you know what I mean. Otherwise, you could call me teacher.
Did
call me
you
Rubin.
call him master?
I didn't call him master. No,
Unks.
I just called him Uncle Rubin
Okay.
or Lionheart. Do you know what I mean? Even for myself, when he died, he gave Wayling over to me. So his baby is mine now.
I can see.
And people call me master. But I don't see myself as a master. Do you know what I mean? Because the way I see it is, to master something means there's no more to me.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah? Like within life, all things, there is a journey when you're learning. There is a journey. There's always more things to learn. There's always more things to greater what you already know. Do you know what I mean? When you die, you've got no more to learn because you're dead within your physical form anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe at that point there, you could be called a master because you've gone as far as you can go. But in terms of me being alive, I'm still learning.
But it's like you got to go past a certain level, don't you? It's like
For
calling someone a
everyone
living
to be
legend
able
because
to call you
they've
master,
gone
you
somewhere,
have to
innit?
be better than everyone else at that
Yeah.
particular thing.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not. No one's calling you a perfectionist, but
That's
you are
right.
the best person in the world in that
For that field.
So yeah. Therefore,
But there's many masters though.
Yeah.
There are many masters. There are many masters. Some people they hold to that word, but I don't like to be called a master.
We're meant to be the grand. Well, I take the Mickey and I say, okay, we're the grand masters of all time because we've innovated steel for the East. But truthfully, I'm always going to be a student.
Right.
Forever
I'm
student.
always going to be a
Right.
student.
I love that.
And you get a lot of people in the kung fu scene that are masters, and when they, as Banna was saying, when they die, they then get the title of grandmaster because they earned it. But you get some people that think they're living legends and call themselves grandmaster while they're alive. Now I've got a T-shirt that says "Goat."
Sorry, do you have to be dead to be a grandmaster then?
No,
You don't have to be dead, no.
dead.
Respect level.
It's just respect because they've dedicated their life to their system, and if they've been a Sifu, then it's only due right they call them grandmaster upon death.
OG, triple OG.
Yeah,
like that.
but if you're an innovator or you've innovated something that, then you can claim to be a grandmaster. But even in that audacious title, I still leave a lot of room to say, look, man, as Banna says, there's a lot to learn. I'm always going to be learning. So I'm forever the student, ultimately.
Definitely.
So even when you're a teacher, you are still learning. Because I always say, when I teach, I teach, and while I teach, I still learn.
The best teachers learn from their students.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And you learn different things from different people.
That's why I stay sharp.
Yeah.
That's right.
You learn different things from different people. Everybody has something to teach you outside of the vocals.
In fact.
Yeah. Because when you touch hands, you are feeling. It's all energy transference. If you're using the swords like these guys, it's energy transference.
I hate shaking hands with people. I don't like touching hands. I just don't like it. I don't like that.
That, and plus some people don't wash them hands. Them all do and don't wash them hands.
I get elbows now.
That's what's funny as well, bro.
For real, I don't like touching hands. I believe like this is sacred. To touch someone's hand.
It is.
Yeah?
It is.
No one's told me that. I just believe it.
It is sacred, yeah.
When I touch someone's hand,
I believe so.
When you mentioned chi earlier, the use of chi, I sent you a video and I hit this little itty bitty grain of rice as it moved. I hit this itty bitty.
saw that.
You saw the video?
Yeah.
Okay, that's chi. That's how I use my chi externally.
Okay.
For hyper focus.
Okay.
Like if you're delivering a punch, you're hitting a target with a sword.
Yes.
I mean, I've got one of the best thrusts on the planet. And that's a fact. There ain't nobody out there hitting a grain of rice that moves one grain of single rice like me. Blood. You understand?
I need to see that.
I see these Western inventors saying, "Oh, so and so's got the best thrust on the British." I was, listen, man, I've got the best thrust on the planet.
Then a couple times, didn't you?
I'm shooting lightning and thunder, rods of steel, 7 foot long. You understand? Pumping holes through people.
Man! All of that. Yes.
Baladan.
Yes, man.
I know, Paul's a weapon man.
Yeah.
He's a master of the weapons. What weapons do you use?
I use the nunchucks, which I need to brush up on. The nunchucks I use.
What those?
I use the rattan ring. I use the S staffs, which the ones with the S.
Yes, I like them.
And I use the bow stick, which is a 6-foot pole.
I like the ring.
That's the rattan ring.
I like the ring.
Yeah.
I like the way you
That's
move
the
with it as
rattan
well.
ring, because with the rattan ring, you learn your distancings and all these things. You can use it as also a weapon.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Just
And
the
I
ring.
also practice on the wooden dummy. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah, which is very, very good to use.
So which are those weapons? Which have you mastered the most?
Out of all of them, I'd say the bow stick.
bow
You know what I
stick.
mean? The bow stick and the rattan ring.
Rattan
You know what I mean? But again, with the bow stick, I need to get back into practice with that because I've kind of been leaning back. You know what I mean? I've been leaning back, obviously, since 2015 when a situation happened with one of my children and all that on the roads and stuff. Martial arts kind of I wouldn't say take a back seat, but my focus wasn't fully on that at that time forward.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is that the first time that's happened in your life? Like
With the martial arts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So that's the reason why it came to a point where I was unable to teach people from that point forward, because I wasn't able to give all that I was given, which is my full energy. You know, and as we spoke on before, if it was just a money thing, I would have just had the people come and just teach them without the full energy, you know what I mean, and just receive the money. But because it's not that, you know what I mean, it's a sentimental thing to me, you know what I mean, as well as these guys here, you know what I mean. So it's a thing where I couldn't give you what I'm supposed to give you in terms of my energy, and, you know, everything is energy.
Yeah.
I decided I can't teach you no more. You know what I mean? I can't do it. You know what I mean? Until I'm able to get my focus back to where it should be. You know what I mean?
Understandably.
Yeah.
Could I just say about martial arts, one last thing, before we close this little segment?
Yes, my boy, go on.
It don't matter what martial art you do, what your levels are, how good or bad you are, it don't matter. The only thing that really matters about martial arts, are you enjoying yourself? Okay? That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
I don't look at levels. And when it comes to belts, I don't do belts. You just train.
Right. Okay. Come on.
You train.
Come on.
So we have to go through the belts to let people know.
No, you don't have to go through the belts.
It's not about that.
With some,
Not all systems have belts.
with some schools, not all of them are like that, but with some schools, the system thing with belts and trophies and all these kind of things is just another avenue of making our money. So I pay you to do my grading. You know what I mean? All of them are not like that. Obviously, I'm not saying all like that, but there are some that are like that. You know what I mean? I bet. Every art I've done, we've never done any type of grading system. No grading system. You go off of your experience. It's experience. Your experience will show you exactly where you are.
That's the real deal.
I might come in today and I'm going on bad, when I'm learning, and then I might come in a week later and someone who's just come through the door kicked my backside,
cleans you up.
So then am I up there as this black belt guy? No. You go up and down.
Ebb and flow.
Yeah, ebb and flow. You understand? Yin and yang. So therefore, what belt are you? You are you.
You are you, yeah.
You are you on any given day.
If you're a brown belt and then you don't practice for half a year, you're a bit rusty.
Right.
Someone comes in on a green
that's anything
belt,
though.
can clean you up.
Yeah.
This is anything in life though.
Yeah.
It's like when you pass your driving test, it doesn't mean that you know how to drive.
Like
It
the
means
best
that
driver,
You've demonstrated that you know how to operate the vehicle safely. So
yeah.
when you get your belt, it doesn't mean that you know how to fight at that level. It just
Yeah.
demonstrates you've shown that you've demonstrated that you can do those particular moves that are necessary to.
Right. It's good to get the clarification.
Because my dad went through all of that. He went through all that grading stuff, went through all those belts and all that, and him going through that within his experience, he sat down and explained that to me. I was at a point where I wanted to go into competition fights and all these things.
Yeah.
And he sat me down and he said to me, it's pointless. He said, it's nice if that's what you want to do. But what you'll find, what he explained to me, is some people, they go through these things and they have a false sense of confidence that now, because they've done whatsoever inside the ring, now they feel they can take on the world.
Yeah.
But guess what? Within the ring, there are rules and regulations. There is a board of rules. Therefore, your life ain't really on the line. Yeah, with some arts, or some things like MMA, for example, them man, they go hard. Them man, they some man,
when you got
come
someone
really
in the headlock on MMO, some woman don't run up to you and smash a bottle.
Right.
I was gonna say
real life situations. Real life situations is a matter of life and death, which is why, for example, if I go and play fight, I'm very hesitant. I hold back so much naturally. Now, if I'm play fighting, you might think, rah, I can take this guy. Because why? Because there isn't a sense of a need to defend myself to that. Come at me in real life, where it's different. Life and death.
It'll be different.
It's a different, because that's what I train for. I don't train to play. So if somebody comes to me and says, Banna, so if I did this and if I did that, 9 times out of 10, when they go to punch, if I did this, I just look at them. I don't even move. I just look at them. I'm thinking, what the fuck? You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's not urgent.
You can't do what you would do.
The urgency is real life, where there's no rules. There's nobody standing there saying there's 3 minutes. Yeah, it just is.
You saying that takes us to the next question, because I've seen a lot of martial artists in MMA. I've seen them get their butts whooped a couple of times. What style? No, listen. What style would you say is the best style to fight up in MMA? Fighting.
Elbow nose, like
just
it's
fighting.
Not moves,
There
like.
ain't
No
no best
specific
style.
art. No
mixed
specific
martial
art.
arts, because no
mixed
specific
martial
art
arts,
covers it all.
Okay.
All right, put it this way. MMA has been whooping kung fu ass for a little while now. Like, you see a lot of these MMA guys, balling these Tai Chi guys and all of this kind of thing. We see it all the time on the martial arts scene.
Oh, you got hit. I just got hit.
My chi touch didn't work. What happened? I'm on the floor. You get me?
Yeah.
So okay, look. Bruce came from Hong Kong to America. He made it big on the scene.
Yeah.
MMA did develop, directly or indirectly from Bruce.
Yeah.
MMA or evolved from possibly Bruce's works. And Americans are bigger guys than they're bigger and broader than, say, Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay, they're beating us up at our own game in a way.
Okay.
well, come. Now it's weapons. I don't need to be big to boss you up with that. It ain't about big and size. It's totally the total opposite demographics and dynamics from hand to hand. Now it's totally speed and accuracy. Before it's brute force and strength on the hand scene. So that's why I've been moving it towards the weapons division now, because I know that we can take our ground back as Eastern arts. Back on the martial arts scene and take, campaign and take our territories back from the MMA. Yeah. But we just got to move the game to now weapons. Yeah. And it's that isn't going to be dependent on size and strength. It's dependent on speed, reflexes, skill, agility, accuracy, and, all of the other attributes of martial practice. That's all I want to say about that bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like you get a boxer and you get a wrestler and you put them in an MMA ring and the boxer's like, oh, okay, or I'm just going to knock this guy out. But then he gets his ass knocked on the ground.
Yep. The ground game.
There's no, okay, all right, cool, just wait for him to get back up. Then the wrestler's got him on the ground. You see what I'm saying?
Ground game take over.
You can't say, this martial art covers it all, because you can be jack of all trades. You can focus in on one thing, but I wouldn't say the human lifetime's not long enough, but you're not in peak physical condition or competing physical condition long enough to cover it all. You have to pick a niche and try and push the fight to go in a direction that you get to use your particular skill set. If you're good at range, you need to keep your distance. If you're good at close, you need to close the distance, and vice versa. Yeah.
Oh, like you said, the best art is the fighting art, and that's it. No style. And also, you'll find when you go into competitions, due to there being rules and regulations, some arts will be hindered where other arts will be
get someone
empowered.
in a headlock and you're like, this works all the time in every competition I've been in. Oh wait, my eye just got gouged out. You're not allowed to do that, but it's not in the ring. So.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing is that, say we went into Western fencing competitions before we just go to schools and bout, we just turn up. If you're calling us out, we turn up. But if we entered one of their competitions, even though you're murking them, they ain't going to count the shot because it's not a historical technique. But you're dead. But hold on, that wasn't historical.
That
but
wasn't
boy,
in the book.
you're murked. You get me?
Yeah,
So there's a lot of politics goes on in this whole shizzle.
And that is the reason we got as far as we did, because we learnt to fight. We didn't learn how to do those particular moves and how to chain those particular moves into the other move and make it was just what works and what does not work. Yeah.
And also, a lot of their historical techniques are designed for wearing big, heavy armour. And so when all these big movements up here, and you're open all down your sides. That's all designed for heavy armour. You try doing that now with modern day armour, you're murked.
Yeah.
So, we were very... I ain't saying... We're not Bruce Lee. I am Bruce Lee. But we follow the same Dao method of learning. Same as Musashi. In fact, I removed Bruce Lee out of it. Musashi.
Okay.
You're the greatest swordsman of all time.
Who's the greatest? Yeah. I couldn't say, bruv. There's too many.
Some random unknown soldier that was on the front line of so many battles.
You know what?
Yeah. The general in that army there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's crazy.
Mad.
Do you not know about downloads?
In what way?
Downloads.
Yes.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Go, hey,
Go on.
Okay. We got spiritual.
Yes.
I didn't know. I turned to martial arts at 30. I ain't been doing it since I was 6 and all of this sort of thing. But after me and Sean Sifu got very spiritual, we started getting downloads through the crown, Akashic downloads through the crown. It wasn't so much, and we were surpassing everybody that had been in the field since Dot.
Because of the downloads.
Because of the downloads.
Jeez.
So we were all of a sudden we could make swords. I could play guitar. I could write poetry. I was doing all sorts of different things that I couldn't do. But it wasn't a case of I was learning something new. It was a case of the downloads were helping me to remember things that I had done before in other lives.
Mad.
Can we explain for the people who don't know about downloads, please?
Yes. What is downloads?
Downloads. Well, for me, at the height of my spiritual awakening, I would feel a tingling on the top of my crown of my head, and I would start visualizing like patterns I'd see patterns and colours and patterns if I close my eyes because I'm looking through my third eye. And then give it a week or so, all of a sudden I had a new skill.
Okay.
And that's, for me, how downloads were working. But they kept coming at I won't say pertinent moments of our martial career or martial journey. They were coming at pertinent moments of our spiritual epiphanies. So when I had a spiritual epiphany, all of a sudden I'm getting a download and then I got a new little skill. So it wasn't a case of learning something new. It was a case of remembering something really old, that from another life, a genetic memory, the whole thing.
I love
So
that.
when you spoke of download, when you mentioned downloads, I was kind of lost on what you was actually talking about. I didn't realize you were speaking in spirituality.
Download of information.
Yeah, Akashic records and all them things there. Because obviously we have been here before we came here, and we will continue to be when we leave here. You know what I mean? And I'm talking not within the physical form. Yeah. As it pertains to downloads, yes, I have had downloads, and I find that with the downloads with me, it was more to do with knowledge and information. You know what I mean? For me, sometimes I might just be sitting there and things will just come to me, literally just come to me. I might have asked a question to the Most High, to the universe or whatnot, you know what I mean? And then one day, bam, it just comes to me, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Almost
and
painful, too much information at once.
Yeah, sometimes
When that happens,
sometimes what will happen is it will come to me in codes. And it's for me to try and decode what it is that comes to me. And like brother said to me as well, sometimes it comes so much that you're trying to sift through. And I've written a few poems in terms of my experience in
You're an artist as well, aren't you?
downloads. I'm not an artist, but I have been involved in the music. You know, from the year 92, I was writing, you know what I mean? Those times there, I was writing like, it was like dancehall tunes and them thing there, you know what I mean?
Banna dancehall, yeah.
I bucked up one guy.
that's the
called,
energy, though. See, high
I
vibration.
bucked up one guy called Major and used to go studio, and those are the times I bucked up guys like Ninja Ute, what were the other guys? Dr. Flex, Departure, and various other guys, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I'm not on a thing where I'm trying to be an artist out here and all of that.
I hear you,
and I'll put my stuff out, but I'm not putting it on Grime TV and putting it on this and putting it on that.
You do
'cause
what
I'm
you
not
feel, innit? You just do what you feel.
I just do as I feel, and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put it up on YouTube. Who sees it. Who don't. I don't care. If it's 2 people that's seen it, that's 2 people. That's great. I just know that it's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know.
I see you still. I see.
Yeah.
Did you used to listen to Wu-Tang?
Yeah, man.
You
Of
look
course.
like, of course.
Of course. I used to listen to Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's another reason of the you know, Game of Death, because Wu-Tang used to have certain titles and of their songs and their names and all these kind of things. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I started writing in '92. When did Wu-Tang come out? '93, something like that. When they started coming out, I can't remember the year they came out, but I was heavily onto Wu-Tang. Was one of my favorite groups, man. You know what I mean? Most definitely. And because they was so heavily into the martial arts, putting the kung fu films in their music and all them things. Oh, yeah, man. Come on, man.
Definitely.
I have a little joke with Wu-Tang on Facebook. Whenever I see them, I go, Wushan.
Wushan clan.
Wushan clan. Like that.
Respect.
Man, a gas.
Listen,
I
this
like
is
that.
my training gear now.
I like that.
Official.
That's proper.
I'm
I
going to
need
my
no
show
powers,
wearing this.
bro.
What's up?
The Wushan clan. Look at that. You set it up right
That
for
fit
that.
up good. That fit well, you know. That did fit well, like, you know what I mean? The connect of that.
Thank you very much. bro.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the time was right.
Thank you.
Precisely.
Thank you very much.
love
Time
that,
was
love
most
that.
definitely
I'm gonna put up
right.
a post with me in training and that's
Big. That's
Definitely.
big. That's big. That's
Respect.
big.
Jesus.
That's
dope.
big. But as we're talking about tops, I'd like to say this particular top here.
Yeah, we
I
see
like that as well, though.
Wayling.
That's sick.
that is nice,
That's sick.
Nice.
That's
The
sick.
yin yang as
Thank
well.
you. It was done by Carla Cornwall on IG.
Crazy
You look for Carla
embroidery.
Cornwall.
Is the knotting's got something to do, a meaning behind
the
it?
knot, all the knotting in that's her expression.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm saying? That's her expression.
That's
and
sick.
And then she came through.
that's dope.
You know
So
what I mean?
each one's going to be different because they're handmade. And
precisely.
My bro.
Everyone will be unique.
My eyes have been glued onto that the whole show. I'm just looking into every minute. That's sick, man.
what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Carla Cornwall.
Yo, big her up, man.
Yeah, man.
Serious
Big
thing.
up to her, 100%.
Since we're talking about tops now,
Yeah.
we got a couple gifts for you as well, people.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Right next to you, Paul.
The 2 white ones, please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yes. Yeah, man. Bless her,
That's
man.
you lot of our part.
Love for that,
from
man.
the team, yeah.
Love.
Respect.
It's like a football match swapping.
Yeah. We get signatures on it too.
I want the Wayling one though. That looks sick.
The Wailing ones, it comes in
Yeah, respect.
white,
Thank you. Yeah.
yellow, and red. You know what I'm saying? No way is way.
Wow. Paul and James, I'm assuming dealing with the equipment you deal with, you're going to need some sort of licensing or some sort of permission, no?
No, not really.
Yeah, we do. We are insured.
Well, we're insured.
Of course.
As far as
As a business, yeah.
insurance goes.
Yeah.
For what we do comes under Budo. Purely because, even though we're not Japanese art.
Yeah.
Insurance-wise, it comes under Budo weapons. So we are insured as teachers and instructors, etc. and so on. Equipment-wise, it's as far as legality goes, they're blunt steel spring-tempered weapons or training weapons.
Yeah.
So it's
So you might get
specifically designed
to not kill.
you might get. Do you get stopped a lot by police when you're training, or you're in indoors?
We used
What's
to
the
get
setup?
a tug now and again in the parks.
Yeah, and
but
then once they see it's blunt, they'll let you go.
no,
Yeah.
once they see it's blunt, also we're in professional.
Yeah.
High-end training
it.
training equipment.
Yeah.
It's
not like you're in a tracksuit holding a sword.
hoodie sort of running around the park like I mean we've had all sorts of reports from the police like ninjas are in the park, we got King Arthur in the park, and old Bill turn up and they say, oh, it's you guys again. Now they just say, look, if you're training somewhere we don't know where you're at, just ring 101
Let us know.
but I don't even do that all the time. But we don't really get never. But we don't really get no tugs, man.
Okay.
As soon as they see that you're in professionally equipped,
They understand.
Done.
Yeah, they understand. Yeah.
See, that's a good question. Because what about you, Dan? Because they're legally trained weapons.
Yeah.
Like, boxers get done over if they fight outside of the ring, don't they? Is it the same
In
for
your
you?
situation, they find out the hard way.
You see, they find it the hard way, 100%.
Wayling.
But as I said, because I'm a natural fighter anyway, for me, whaling is like a gun. Yeah, I don't draw for it unless I truly need to. I've drawed for it 3 times in my life. Other than that, I just fight if I need to fight. You know what I mean? And the art comes out naturally when need be. But like brother said, I give people ample chances where before it wouldn't be that.
I just want to say, I had something to Banna. When Banna was saying, like, when he gets a new student or a geezer comes up to him and he says, oh, what do you do if you do this or you do that? And he stands there looking at the brother. And if he has a little touch with him, a touch of hands, and the guy might get a couple through on him. And he ain't, but Banna's controlled. He ain't trying to steam the brother.
Yeah.
It's because he's being generous as a teacher.
100, yeah, 100.
It's generosity,
Definitely.
because you ain't looking to knock anybody out. You just like, if say me and Banna done touch sparring and he was touching me. I'm touching him.
Yeah.
I'm not hitting him. Yeah. He's touching me. He might touch me on my face. He ain't hitting me. He's being generous.
Definitely.
And that's what people got to understand. The generosity of spirit from the teacher.
When someone comes and they're training with you off the bat, you can't just go full steam at them, because it's going to make you're not going to feel good about yourself. This is the first time this person's done this. Let me show them how good I am. Kind of thing. It's going to put them off.
That bullying
It's going to
type,
make you feel bad. Like, there's no point. And the same with a street fight. If the person obviously doesn't have the same ability as you, depending on why the fight started, but if they're just a bit drunk and you just one of those random stupid street fights, like, there's no point in properly steaming it. Just
Facts. See, and again, some people don't have that discipline. Yeah. People on normal, just fighters on the street, as in drunkards or whatever, they don't have that knowledge of self, or it's just raw, isn't it?
Again, it depends on what you're in there for.
There's always kind of rules to the street fight. That even if 2 guys are fighting, they're both drunk, even if they're really angry, there's usually not eye gouging, there's usually not kicks to the testicles, not on purpose kind of thing. There's still rules in a street fight, but mate, if it's the apocalypse and that's the last can of beans in the world, you better be sure
that's
that
what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying,
kick you in the nuts
but-
and gouge out your eyes.
That's exactly that, and that's my point. For example, if I learn any of these styles, right,
Yeah.
and I get into a fight and say I'm intimidated, it's a big fella. I'm not necessarily going to think of training. It's going to be more like life instincts, like natural instincts, right? So I'm gonna eye gouge. I'm gonna kick you. Like
Exactly.
in fighting, there's no rule,
Right, and this is what Wayling teaches. Wayling does not deal with dojo business.
that time,
it
what
deals
you
with
feel.
real life.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I was learning Wing Chun fought against Wing Chun guys. When I was doing Tai Chi fights against Tai Chi
Controlled.
guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
then when you go to fight a boxer, because I did boxing as well,
different.
it's different.
Yeah.
So you need to learn to fight.
And that's what I'd love to learn all of this so I can pull it out.
Right. So it's you learn real life situations, not dojo stuff. Wing Chun, Wailing is also street. Uncle Ruben made sure that was involved. It's not just martial arts, it's street. You understand? Every kind of fighting style is an art. Even street fighting, boxing, it's all a discipline. It's all an art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how we got the drop on a lot of the clubs out there in the weapons division. That's how we got the drop on them, because we were cross training or cross sparring with everybody.
Yeah.
But like Banna says, these people only fight against themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do when you meet somebody that ain't you,
Yeah.
or you ain't doing the moves that you don't know about?
That's right.
The
Right.
techniques.
And they get penalised for not doing the specific technique that
No, you
is
learn
sanctioned
not to
by
do
their
it,
club
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
And it's
right.
like, oh, that's all well and good when you're fighting someone that does the exact same moveset as you.
right.
But when you fight someone that does something different, you might have to adapt.
Yeah.
Precisely.
That's the difference between winning and losing a fight. It's adapting.
So imagine, for example, right? You did an art that just dealt with punching and whatever. You know, you fight against your own and them things, and then you came against a capoeira guy. And the capoeira guy falls to the floor on his hands, and then his leg comes from behind him and kick you in your face. You're not expecting that.
You're definitely not expecting that.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So you have to learn to be able to adapt. You know what I mean? Be like water, innit?
Yeah, what?
Do you know what I mean?
That's what he said, innit?
Yeah, be like water, man. You have to adapt.
You know, somebody starts cussing Wushan, saying, "Oh, you ain't all that, you ain't all this." So we turn up. I don't care if you're kendo or screamer or what you are, but in that same breath, that is what helped us evolve, regardless whether it's Sports Spencer or any club, or practitioners of any of those arts. The art is good. You know, I'm not knocking any of the arts.
How often do you train a week?
Say again.
How often do you train a week?
I train about 5 days a week.
And where could they find you if people wanted to join your clan?
Oh, you find me on Facebook. You find me everywhere. You find me at Hammer Historical Asian Martial Arts on Facebook. You find me as Paul.
Do you have a specific location that they can go?
Yeah, we've got West Norwood, Upper Norwood Recreation Ground. We're there every Sunday, nearly roughly around between 1 and 2.
Okay.
We used to train in Nutfield Sports Centre, but they limited the parking to 2 hours, and it was
Wow.
yeah. By the time you got there, got all your gear on and everything. Yeah.
You got 45
And then the parking and traffic wardens out there trying to get your car. But I just want to say all of the arts are very good, but what all the arts lack is cross training, and that's been a big deficit in their game. You know, I like sport. I take the most aggressive sort of.
Wayling got a cross. They got a cross in it.
Yeah,
Wayling?
we cross. We cross.
Yeah. Similar to Banna, we started on the street. You know, or I won't say he started on his art started, but us, you know, because he came through different routes as well.
Yeah.
But our art was very much street orientated at the beginning.
Yes.
But we went from street to the stages of Chinatown to national events, seminars,
I see.
city location, city carnivals. We were all over the place.
I
And
see.
it just from a gym car park.
Ratings.
I ain't going to enter a judo competition because I get murked. I ain't going to enter an MMA ring because I'm going to get murked.
Yeah.
You get me? I ain't going to say what I do is better than everybody else. It's just what we do is what we do, and it's something very old brought into a new world. It's an old thing being brought into our contemporary times. Yeah.
I like that, man. I feel edutained. Definitely. I learned a lot. I'm here quiet. I'm humbled.
Yeah. And again, this here shows me, no matter what style you learn, because even now we're talking about it the other week about joining a new class, right?
Yeah.
I would want to learn most of these stances just so, okay, this covers grappling, judo, I'm going to judo. Okay, this covers kicking, all right, I'm going to do kung fu. This covers, do you know what I mean? I'd like to go through a lot of these styles, but you don't have the actual time to kind
Like
of
what you
focus
said,
on
you
one.
don't physically live that long to master everything.
But then on top of that, picking up a weapon, even a sword, like that same sword can be a stick, it could be anything. You see what I'm trying to say? But with a sword, that skill now adds another
I
department.
feel
on
like
top
the
of fighting.
main thing that the sword teaches you is reflexes and planning ahead. Because the tip of that sword's moving, I don't know, 100, 150 miles an hour. And it's not coming at you once, it's coming at you 2, 3, 4 times.
Not only the
When
opponent,
you're
yourself, yeah.
Fighting with your hands, you accept that you're going to get hit a few times. You take a wide stance, so when you do get hit, you don't go down.
With
With
a
a sword,
sword.
you ain't getting hit. So you got to be not like a 747 where you're steady in the air. You need to be like a fighter jet where you're ready to tumble at any time. So it's kind of, you have to plan 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. But after the first step, they could do 2, 3, 4 things. So it just branches out, and you need to just kind of, it's more of a mental game. So when you go into anything else, when you go into driving or you go into, your mind has the capability to be able to make that grand master plan on the fly and adapt it to any situation as it occurs.
With hand to hand, it could take rounds to knock. It can take 1 round or a minute to knock somebody out. But with tools, you're bodying people in 5 seconds, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, in a minute, you should be murking about. I'm not saying that's what you should do, people, but in effect, you're murking maybe you're bodying 10 people in about a minute.
It's just another level. Yeah.
But going back to the youths and knife crime, what I'd like to do is draw the youths off of the street into the gymnasiums. Forget shanking on the road. Come into the gyms, learn as an art, learn the discipline, learn the respect, learn the chivalry, the honour, and leave the shanking on the road alone. Come to the gyms.
Yeah,
Leave it totally alone, man.
No,
that makes sense.
Big up yourself.
But even in their situations, their environments, with that, not only the confidence, but again, defense.
Guys, I got one last question to ask you lot, because we're with the most dangerous men.
This guy, man.
The amount of challenges you're gonna give this man. Oh, you think you tough? You think you tough? The DMs.
Since we're with the most dangerous men in the country,
People can whoop Bruce Lee.
I thought that was Bruce Lee.
I had to ask the most dangerous men, and look what they gave me. They all fucked them off. Oi. But my point is, do you lot get any invitations, like, to fight abroad? Or like competitions? Like more combat?
Basically, not too long ago, someone invited us to, me, Keith, and Paul as well, to go and train the German military special forces.
Yeah, do that. But the other thing is, I don't like playing too much, but I do get on them now and again. Okay. But what happened was, as we were travelling through our journey and meeting resistance and adversity and you know, trash talk, people would fly in fighters from abroad to fight me. Wow. So I'd have fighters coming in from like Milan schools of fencing or Italian schools of fencing, or you know, specialists getting flown into. They say, come to a seminar. I'll go to a seminar, doing a little thing. Next thing, there's like the whole seminar's there ready to fight. They got fences from all over the world at this motherfucker. You get me?
Yeah. One last question. So this is the last question, honestly. Yeah. No, I got a million questions, but I'm gonna narrow it down. I saw a video of a martial arts master who lit paper with his hands. Is that real?
Did what?
Lit paper.
Lit.
Yeah.
As in fire.
Bro,
Yeah, fire with his hands. Is that real? Can that be done? Is that possible?
Thermodynamics, bro.
What's that? Go on.
The conservation of energy. The second law, like you.
Can it be done? Can it be done?
I used to think things like that were real when I was younger, and then I really needed to understand how it worked. And in the quest of trying to understand how it worked, I realized the way it worked was people got to make money somehow.
Say no more.
It's a bit like, it's a bit like,
She is real. This stuff is real, but the real power is the fact that you're able to perceive the universe around you and understand and bring your experiences back to the whole when you expire, that kind of thing like that. It's not, or I can shoot fireballs out of my hand and like paper on fire.
like
So that is not real.
I
Or I
personally,
fling my hands out
and I
like
personally
pistols
have
and you
not seen
fly.
any evidence.
Have you seen those videos when the Sifu or the teacher's going like that?
I've seen
and
it.
the
Yeah, right, exactly.
But listen.
Right,
Then I saw him get beat up.
No, yeah.
But that's just one teacher though.
No, that's a lot of them get
Yeah.
done in like that.
But we have to realize that there are certain things that can happen
That we do not
beyond
understand.
our understanding,
Our understanding of the
because of
universe is
the
nothing.
chi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
The
yes.
cultivating of the chi. Like for example, as I mentioned about the bending of the swords and all those kind of things, with
Yeah,
their
yeah,
neck
yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But when you see a man going like this,
have you tried to
like
do that?
you mentioned, and
next time you get a chance, bro,
Yeah.
get a steel rod,
Yeah.
put it against that.
no, because that comes down
That's
to the
slicing you.
cultivation.
Bro.
I've seen my Sifu do that in front of my face.
I've done it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's-
I've
that part of your
never
neck
tried it.
is fairly strong, bro. Like
Yeah.
next time you get a chance, get
Yeah.
something still,
Yeah.
push it against there,
Yeah.
and it will bend, bro. Like this is a very
Yeah.
tough.
I've
part
never
of your
tried it
body.
myself.
Try it.
Never tried
Try
it.
it, bro.
I've never tried it.
I just want to say one last thing about Bruce Lee Sifu.
Yeah.
Legend, cinematic martial legend. I give him all his dues, all his credit. Love the dude. You know, he made dreams come true when I was a kid. But Kung Fu has moved on since then. It ain't died in the 70s, all right?
Mad.
It's time to move on.
Mad.
Weapons division coming now.
Yes. Yeah, big up Paul, man. Yes, people, we have come to the end of Powers for Breakfast show today, man. What an honour to have
Big
these
honour.
three legends.
It's an honour to be
in
here.
this-
Honour to be
Yo.
here, man. You know what I mean?
Give it up for Banna Dan, please. Give it up for Banna Dan.
Thank you. Thank
Yo,
you. Thank you.
give it up for Paul.
Paul Root. Don't know
Give it up for
James.
James.
Up
Yo,
to the plate.
you lot are certified soldiers, man. Respect.
you, man.
Thank you
Have a clap
for
for a host as well. Though.
Yeah, 100. Yeah,
Thank you,
100%,
thank you.
100%.
myself 100 eyes with my
That's what I wanted to ask you, though.
What's that?
Where did 100 eyes come from?
You know already.
He asked the question. He
You
did.
know already. Come on.
When you started talking about Genghis Khan, I thought, should I jump in now? Can I get away with it? But yeah, like I fell in love with the character. To be fair,
Yeah.
I did. So yeah, man, I adapted it. You got scar faces. You got all these. Other...
It's a good
Yeah,
name and
yeah.
it goes
That's what I'm saying.
goes with your music.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You want to shout out your handles and
your
what,
people, yeah.
where you can find you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to big up.
Big ups and where we can find you as well.
Big up motslive.co.uk, man.
100%.
All the time,
yeah,
man.
most definitely.
Much love, much
definitely,
love.
Most definitely. I'd like to big up, obviously, Uncle Ruben, aka Lionheart for Wayling. Rest in peace.
Powers, man.
Rest in powers.
My father, even though we're not talking and them thing there. You know
Big
what I
up,
mean?
you're a real
Big up
soldier
to
still.
My father, you know what I mean? Godfrey Donnelly, who's with the Free Treasures School of Tai Chi Wudang style.
Mad.
Yeah, he's also a friend of both Uncle Ruben and my dad. Shifu Joseph Mann of the John Mo Wing Chun Association.
Okay.
Yeah. Who brother also knows as well, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to him. You know what I mean? I was under that umbrella as well, and I was more being taught by the two Tonys, you know what I mean? He was Joseph Mann. Joseph Mann was also a good friend of my father. Shi Yang Xiu, who was a 34th generation Shaolin monk disciple. You know what I mean? Big up to him. Yeah, he taught me into the Shaolin and Qigong. Shi Henrong also with the Shaolin. He was teaching alongside my cousin Shifu Brown, who actually brought him over. He was also a 34th generation Shaolin monk. You know what I mean? So big up to my cousin Shifu Brown. And also Dexter Kelly, you know what I mean? Dexter Kelly, when I was with school in Tottenham, Wing Chun boxing school in Tottenham, he was one of the teachers there, you know what I mean? And along the way, when I came off of Wing Chun, because I had to come off of Wing Chun because it was interfering with my Wayling, you know what I mean, a lot. So I came away from that. He then... when I started teaching, we got together and we started to teach. That was actually amazing that not only did I teach with someone who was instructing me with Wing Chun, we also started to teach inside the very location of where I started Wayling with my uncle. Do you know what I mean? So that was amazing. You know what I mean? So big up Dexter Kelly.
Big
you
up.
know what I mean?
You do fight coordinations, don't you? You do like stunt coordinations, don't you? I saw some posts
I have done some
Choreography, that's
the
it.
word, choreography. I've done 2 short movies. There was a few of us that came together. We was going to do, quite a number of projects, but one of them decided, for whatever reason, to fly out to Portugal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that kind of fell through, but we've done two films. You know what I mean?
You hear that, people? If you want any stuntmen, hit them up. Banna D.
Choreography, yeah.
Bro, I'm a sword holding fucking free runner, bro.
Okay.
Big up.
Yeah, another hour. Another hour.
Yo, Paul, you want to say your handles quickly before we shut down?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to Junmo Kung Fu Wing Chun, the Man Sisters.
Yep.
Cayman Wing Chun, Warrior Wing Chun, every kind of Wing Chun, you know us.
Big up.
Everybody knows me on Facebook, in the martial arts world and beyond. Shout out to my dad, rest in peace. Loved you more than myself. And I just want to shout out to everybody and try and spread a bit more love to the world. That's all I want to say, really. It's all about the love. Be strong and don't let evil get you down or drag you down or stop you. We must fight the evil.
Big up yourself.
Also, for the people with children, I'd like you to go to my daughter's page on YouTube. It's Just Anessa, Just Anessa, Anessa, Just Anessa. You will find a song on there for the children. It's called Call for School.
Yes. Dope. I listened to that last night. It's the vibes.
Yeah,
the vibes for the children,
up.
man.
Dope.
Let's get to 1 million views, huh?
Yo, all right. So I've got a challenge currently out. You fight me, you beat me, £500. I don't care who you are. The challenge is out there. Currently, I dislocated my finger. I don't know when that's gonna heal.
Damn.
So challenge is still out. You can fight me a dislocated finger, £500 if you win. And when my finger's better, I'll up it to £1,000 because no one's taking the challenge.
Let's go.
This challenges have been out there for 5 years and nobody taking this challenge.
Nobody's taking this challenge. I've been to kung fu schools. I've been to.
Is this
kendo
sword fighting,
schools.
by the way?
Yeah, sword.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm good.
No one wants this, so boy, I'm gonna up the prize money to £1,000 when my finger's better.
Easy
win.
So, look, James, what is your handles, man?
Black Swordsman. I'm on YouTube. I ain't really got no social media, but I'm gonna hit that up soon, innit? But I just moved house, innit, and everything's been a bit topsy turvy, bro. But I'm gonna jump
Black
back,
Swordsman,
yeah.
Yo, big up James today. Yo,
Check
big
me
up
on
James.
YouTube
Big
still.
up
My
James.
challenge is on there.
And that's at Wuhan still on Instagram.
Wushan.
Wushan, sorry.
Wushan, but
One word.
Paul Joseph Wu Ming on Facebook, you find me, you find Black Swordsman. And shout out to my daughter Jade, love you.
Big up.
Banna Dan on IG, Facebook, and on YouTube. You'll find it's Wayling Way, WAYLING space WAY.
Yeah.
Yes, people.
Big up to my friends and family and them things there. You know what I mean? 100.
Yo, big up Banna Dan, Paul, and James today. Appreciate you lot coming down. People, this is the end of the Pals for Breakfast show today. What a morning. What a rising. What a way to wake up. You get what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Yo, people. I don't even lock this off. I'm gonna lock it off. It was such a great show. You guys, thank you very much for today, man. Thank you, yeah.
All sweating and everything. It's hot in here.
Hot in here.
Energy.
It's the energies though. Madchi.
Mad.
Yo, I'm out. Myself 100 Eyes with a Trillatella Mefio. And we are out for the Pals for Breakfast show, people. Have a bliss Sunday.
Love.
Powers.